I'm Amy Carlson and I'm the Garden Education Coordinator here at Life Lab, and I'm going to be telling you about our first grade field trips called Pondering Plants. During our Pondering Plants field trips, we discuss with our students what plants need and how they get it from their environment, and how the different plant parts get different things that the plant needs. So during our introduction, when we first have the group gathered all together, we build a plant with them. Some of the first graders get to act out different parts of the plant. The root acts out getting nutrients. We have a child act out the stem, which brings the water and the nutrients up. We have children acting out the leaves, which are gathering sunshine and carbon dioxide. We hand one child a big sun and we hand one child a fan to fan the carbon dioxide over toward the plant. The leaves gather that, and then the leaves act out making food and passing that down through the stem back down to the roots. So we do that activity in the introduction, and then we split into 3 groups and we go to 3 stations during this field trip. One station is the roots station. Another station is the shoots station, where we investigate leaves and stems. And a third station is, as always in our field trips, our bees and chickens station, where we visit with our honeybees and with our chickens and find out how they help our garden grow. We play some farm games, drink some flower nectar, and then return for a wrap-up. I'm going to tell you about the roots station and about the shoots station in our field trips. We spend the bulk of our roots station on a root hunt, where we take the kids on a walk and pull up many plants. We find so many different weeds and pull them up and check out what their roots look like, which is pretty magical for most of the students, because roots are this thing you never see. They're down there under the ground, and going on a hunt and just pulling up roots on purpose to check out how different they can be from each other is pretty exciting. So we talk with the kids about there being 3 different kinds of roots down there. The tap root, which is the one main root going deep down into the soil, the fibrous roots, which spread out to the side, many small roots, and the food storage root, which is a type of taproot that's not only long but also wide for storing food for the plant, or maybe for us. We spend the bulk of our roots station on a root hunt, where we take the kids on a walk and pull up many plants. We find so many different weeds and pull them up and check out what their roots look like, which is pretty magical for most of the students, because roots are this thing you never see. They're down there under the ground, and going on a hunt and just pulling up roots on purpose to check out how different they can be from each other is pretty exciting. So we go on this root hunt, and then we bring all our roots back to the table, spread them out on the table for everyone to see. The leader will also pass out these root cards so that we can see even more of a diversity of roots depicted on the cards. And then we play a root matching game, where the leader reads about a kind of root and the students point out what they think belongs in that category. So for instance, the leader will say taproots. Taproot has one main root that grows deep down in the soil. The students will point out taproots, they'll point out fibrous roots, they'll point out food storage roots, and then we usually eat one. We usually pick a radish or a beet or some other type of food storage root on our root hunt so that we can eat that at the end. Once we've sorted all of those roots and played the root matching game, then we have an activity where a leader comes who hasn't seen the roots and sits down at the corner of the table without looking at the students' roots. The students choose one root they like the best to describe to this leader, so that the leader will draw it without seeing it. And so the leader has the challenge of asking just the right questions to get those kids to describe the root so that the leader can draw it. It seems very challenging at first, but it almost always works very well and really tunes the students into the details of that root. We start off the shoot station with a leaf scavenger hunt. We have a list of different types of leaves to look for in the garden. Leaves that smell good, leaves that smell bad, waxy leaves, thick leaves, spiny leaves, big leaves. We challenge the children to find the smallest leaf they can find. Leaves that trap insects, leaves we like to eat, and we like to eat it while we're on the scavenger hunt. So we talk with the students about leaving the leaves where we find them, and we go on a search together and find all of these leaves in the garden. And when we find a leaf, we like to ask the students, why would it help the plant to have leaves that smell bad? Why would a plant have waxy leaves? Since we've finished with the scavenger hunt, we collect some fallen leaves from the ground and some stems, some sticks that we find there, and we bring them back to the table to make some leaf and stem art. We also taste some rhubarb stems while we're there at the table and have a sour face making contest. We call our rhubarb stems garden sour candy. We make some leaf and stem art by offering them. They could make leaf rubbings. We have some crayons with the wrappers taken off so that we can make some leaf rubbings, and some blank paper. They can cut up rhubarb stems and use stamp pads to make stamps out of the rhubarb stems, stamp those on their paper. They can trace some stems. It's a very free-form art activity using leaves and stems. And once we're done making the art, we return the leaves and stems to the ground where they'll decompose and make soil for new things to grow.